This week, or this episode and this month, we continue that same journey, but we are starting a completely brand new series. For those who are new, it's good to just run through the fact that this is not a training per se. This is more around knowledge sharing. This is more around experience sharing. Again, there's nothing that you are dealing with that somebody hasn't dealt with before. So the whole idea is when you hear that others have gone through it and that they found a way to survive, then hopefully it encourages you, but not just encouragement, it shares skills with you on how you too can navigate whatever you are dealing with. So what we try to do is just create a platform where we can learn from one another. And then when you get to talk, we like to make it very, very interactive. So when you get the opportunity to talk, please feel free, unless you're in a very noisy place that you think we cannot absolutely hear you. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what it is. We like to hear your voice, unmute, talk, and as much as possible, keep it short and straight to the point that we can have as many people contribute as possible. All right. So today, we are starting a brand new series. A series that, incidentally, we do this planning way ahead of time. We couldn't have foreseen how relevant this particular series would have been at this time. In fact, we wanted to take this series to end last year, but because of the fact that we wanted to have a planning series that will end the year and lead us into the new year, we decided to just leave it till this month. But when you see the topic, if you have seen the flyer and you look around, it couldn't have been delivered at a better time. And so this month and today, we are starting a series that is called All Round Wellness. All Round Wellness. Now, this is super relevant because, unfortunately, we are in an unwell economy. Now, this unwell economy is not just peculiar to Nigeria. This program is coming out of Lagos, Nigeria, but this unwell economy is global. I think it's France that has seen farmers block the express, block the highway for weeks now. It's everywhere. Cost of living crisis right across the countries, Argentina, Egypt, everywhere. So the question is, in times like this, what do we do? How do we ensure that we remain well? How do we ensure that our survival, our wellness, our health is not determined only by what is going on around you? That exactly is what we want to talk about starting from today. And the opening salvo for me this week will be this definition of health by the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization defines health not just as the absence of disease or infirmity, meaning it is possible for somebody not to have a disease, not to have any infirmity, but still not be well. Because it defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, wellness. That is how health is defined. Now, the question is, even though you may think that your issue is money, oh, I need money to buy this, oh, I am not able to get that, oh, I cannot afford this, oh, things are very expensive, oh, this, oh, that. Truth of the matter is, the cornerstone, the foundational wealth is actually your health. And I tell those who are close to me, until you have a health problem, you have no problem. Until you have a health problem, you have no problem. Because when you have health problem, Not even the doctors can beat their chest and tell you what is going to look like, what the prognosis or the journey of the health is going to look like. So until you have a health problem, you do not have any problem. Therefore, when we talk about wellness, some people may think that, oh, it's about money, it's about this, about that. It is your health, your state of health, or your wellness that is foundational. It's on that everything else builds. When you take that out of the way, it doesn't amount to much. And so, this series that we are starting, we want to dig around this concept of wellness. And we are going to be approaching it from 5 different elements. I will get to that in the course of this, my delivery. It is therefore an invitation. This is therefore an invitation I'm offering to you to say, please come along. Let's enjoy this journey. Let's equip ourselves with this knowledge. Let's get to the point where we are more in control of how our journey is going so that we can make the most of the opportunities around us. Right? So let's get into the story. We normally like to weave our delivery around the story. This is about Sarah. So the story starts with Sarah behind her desk, but she was not really behind her desk. Very, very, very lost in her thoughts. All right. And it looked like everything just happened overnight for her. A few years ago, it was hunky-dory, everything moving well. And then all of a sudden, boom, fuel subsidy, gone. And just with that gone, everything else seemed to have gone with it. And now, she's feeling very, very susceptible, very vulnerable. And all of a sudden, she's beginning to get very uneasy. That calm, collected, easy, predictable, safe life that she was living now seems to have been interrupted. And it's now beginning to affect her physically. All right. So she's getting very tense. She's no longer able to really relax. She's not able to sleep well. And before you know it, her blood pressure is starting to rise. And then the alarm bell started jingling in her head. Knowing what she knows as the daughter of a pharmacist, she's beginning to say, no, something is wrong. I have to find a way to deal with this. What do I do? And if you go across the globe, what you find is that this is not unusual. There's a lot of anxiety because there are broadly 2 or 3 classes of people in this world today. There are those who are really, really under a lot of immediate pressure. Their own pressure is here and now. All of a sudden, all this increased cost of living has completely eroded the strength of whatever income they are earning, whether it is paid employment or whether it is entrepreneurship, completely eroded. So they are finding themselves regularly broke, regularly unable to pay bills, and that is their current reality. There's another group. It's not like their own pressure is immediate, but they are anxious. Maybe they have a savings. Maybe their organization is trying to give them some balance to what they're doing, but they are still concerned to say, if this thing doesn't ease off, what will it look like in 2 months? If this trend continues, what will it look like in 3 months? If this trend continues, what will it look like in 1 year? And they are carrying all that pressure as we speak, okay? And then we have those who may be feeling immune, either because of what they do or because of whatever their profile is. They can see the movement, but it is not necessarily affecting them. What you find is that the response is not so much a matter of what is going on the outside, the response is usually more of what is going on the inside. And that really is what we are going to be exploring over the next couple of episodes. Now, as you know, if you have been regular here, we like to look at research. What is research saying or what you're saying? And what we find is that research says that when you find people, particularly on the financial side, who are challenged, it leads to some negative outcomes. Research suggests that, as an example, people who live in an environment where they have access to, like, say, 2 hours of nature, gardening, greenery, parks, that they are likely going to report better health conditions than those who do not. Okay? The research suggests that when people are economically advantaged, and this is a lot of research done on this in the US, where they do research on poor neighborhoods, rich neighborhoods, and what they find out is that even though the concept of happiness is subjective, those who live in those better areas seem to, on the average, report a higher level of happiness, a higher level of life satisfaction than those who do not. Okay, so the question therefore is, if we are living therefore in this era of unwell economy, how do we achieve wellness? What do we need to do to move us towards wellness? And in talking about this, therefore, we are going to approach it from 2 ends. The first end is the end of the mind, and the second end is the end of the motion. Again, what are we talking about? All-round wellness. Now, before we get too deep into this, I would like to bring you into this conversation. Does anybody how are you experiencing, wherever you are living, how are you experiencing this cost of living crisis? How is it affecting you? How are you interacting with it? Anybody here? How are you managing with all this chaos that is going on around us? Yes, anybody? How are you dealing with it? Where are you feeling it? Where are you feeling the impact most? Yes, Aziz, go ahead. Aziza, sorry.
Yes.
Aziza, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So there's this part of the conversation that I was relating to very well, and that was the part of the anxiety. So it's not as though we're at the point where we are completely powerless, right? But that feeling of, okay, you wake up today and you're able to afford the basic things that you need. What's going to happen tomorrow or next tomorrow? There's just this feeling of, it's almost as if it's COVID all over again. There's this feeling of uncertainty. Will things get better? Would the world shut down? Nigeria, are we going to experience that point where everybody is tired and there's a complete and utter unwillingness to try? Because every day we wake up, we're trying. So lately, I've actually been getting this anxiety, and I had to really talk to myself and say, wait, I have to be positive, right? It doesn't mean that I won't plan for any eventuality, but the most important thing is for me to have a positive outlook. Every day I wake up, I'm like, okay, what can I do differently from what I did yesterday that will not put me in a position that I'm most afraid of? So dealing with the anxiety has been one thing, and also going to these places where you have the supermarket, where you're trying to buy something you bought maybe 1,000 naira last week is 2,000 this week or 3,000, and then there's just this fear that grips you. Okay, should I buy more? Should I not buy more? should I just just buy the one I can afford and come back later, or should I just panic buy and buy everything before I come back and the price is like ×5? So yes, that's another angle to it. I remember last week I went to buy water. A pack of water was like 2005. Usually I buy this pack of water like 1,800, and now it's 2,500. And I don't know, I just panicked and bought two. And when I got home, I was just laughing. Like, I actually did panic and bought two instead of the usual one I would buy, given like the financial plan that I make for every month, right? So, yeah, that is making us plan out of our budget. And this whole panic can lead to more spending than usual.
Yeah.
And that's how I've literally been coping with everything that's been happening.
Thank you so much for sharing. I enjoy that contribution. Yes, anybody else? How are you experiencing this? How is it affecting you? And if you have any coping technique, you can also share, even though we are going to come to that. But if you have any coping technique, please share. But how are you coping with this? Anybody? You can unmute, or you can also digitally raise your hand if you want to contribute. But it's really tough. And the truth of the matter is that we survived COVID. Again, one of the things that I like to tell people is that the people that death kill, they are not as many as the people that fear and anxiety kill. I don't know about your part of Nigeria, but I just came out of a program this afternoon and I was telling the audience that your mind is that source of whether you are going to be fine or not. That is why this is about wellness. About a week ago in Lagos was like an oven, burning hot. You put on the tap, doesn't matter what time of the day, the water is hot. Just in about a week, just 1 week, the entire weather condition has now changed, that people who were looking for ice block yesterday are now looking for hot water. And it's all in your head. This is something that eventually there has to find a balance. Because of what I do as a consultant, I have to be in the study of what's going on in other clients. And as Nigeria was spiraling out of hand, I started doing the research on Argentina and Egypt, two countries that have gone through this kind of problem. And recently there's a headline in Argentina, I think, yes, that said that in January, for the first time in 12 years, they had a surplus in their budget because they now had a change of leadership. Now, the point is not about the 12 years. The point is, at some point, this has to stop, because it wasn't designed to continue like this forever. The question, therefore, is when that stops, when we reach that point of stoppage, who are the people that will still be standing? So this wellness thing is not a fancy thing. It's about how do you remain standing? Because believe me, the same way COVID happened, now COVID looks like a distance. Imagine those days we extended the lockdown by another 1 week, another 2 weeks. We'll start counting. Day 1, day 2, day 10. Hey, what would they say tomorrow? And it looked like will life ever come back to normal? I tell you today, it will. It will. And between here and there, the opportunities that this period presents is far more important than the threat. I say it again, the opportunities far outweigh the threat. The question is, would you be ready to optimize and exploit this phase? Because it is either it makes you grow or it makes you grown. It's a matter of choice. You either choose to grow or you are going to keep groaning. And if you are not careful, the groaning might kill you. And eventually, when things begin to turn around, it will just be Peter, oh, and she had a good job, oh. Many people are committing suicide now simply because of how they're running their mind. So this wellness, this unwell economy, everybody feels it, but it represents an opportunity. And I'll get to that in the course of the program. Anybody else wants to share anything before I move forward? How are you experiencing this increased price here? Are you stoic about it? And Abi, John, yes, go on.
So
I
for
can
some
see.
of us around here,
Yes,
well,
around where?
around Istanbul.
Okay. Turkey, Istanbul. That's where he's joining
Yes.
us from. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So immediately Ukraine war started, Ukraine and Russia, for your information, are the major gas supplier for our winter. So if you talk about winter in Europe and here, they are a main factor. And guess what? We have increase in gas, our utility, every three months. Minimum, that's minimum even. In UK at the time, it was increasing every month. And just like the other speaker said, you'll be wondering, should you downsize where you stay? Are you going to get a better neighborhood at this time? It's not, winter is generally not a good time to move your neighborhood. If you want to check a good, just like in Lagos, you don't want to, yes, you may want to move house during rainy season, but winter is not a good time. People will not attend to you, so to say, and you may get a high price too much. So a lot of factors will tell you. So there was this anxiety almost every time that you are going to get a higher price, and then which was causing inflation in most areas of business. And even businesses you felt will not shut down or will not lay off were laying off. I mean, the big ones that you felt they are, they have a lot of money.
Sunday, yeah.
They were laying off, which was scary, very, very scary. So, but I think good enough we're having this. One of it is to just wake up. And I want to say to the last speaker, buying two water is not wrong, really. You may just say, I think tmak mentioned it in one of the one of the session we had. You are using this type of milk. You go to a lesser milk because you want to cut, streamline your budget. So you buying two water, I hope you had a car. If you have a car with you, even buy four. At least, yes, he's eating to the budget. If I can pay gas for the next 6 months, if I'm allowed, which is not possible, I would have loved to do that. Because I know in 2 months, my gas rate will increase again. So, but it's in having a plan and also knowing that that plan may change, really. So having a plan is good, but also knowing that that plan may change. Because that's part of the change management. But at least having a plan will let you know that
Yes.
you have some parameter you can hold on to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry, I wasn't interrupting you. Go on. Finish.
No, so okay. So, well, in summary is that we should be there is a book they call You Smell the Cheese. Who Moved My Cheese?
Who moved my cheese? Yeah.
Read the news with positive mind. I don't like, and then when Israel came in again, Israel, for your information, also supply some of the highest wheat for all around here. It may surprise everybody. And when the war started, Suez Canal was blocked.
Yeah, became a problem. Yeah.
By the, it was not blocked intentionally. It was blocked by the militants. There was war there even so. And that was causing food hike prices again. Before, Ukraine is also one of the main supplier of wheat.
Of wheat, yeah.
So that Israel war now doubled it. So it's, as a matter of fact, I think 2 weeks ago, UK officially went into recession, and a lot of 2-3 European countries declared officially. Of course, some of them have been in recession,
yes.
But they went officially into recession, which those of us that know a little bit of accounting, tmak will explain that more. But we know what that means. At least as a parent, you know what that will happen. So, but the goal is smell the cheese, know when it moves, know what you can change. I think one of the things is knows the parameters that we can change. There are parameters that are peculiar to me that I can change, that I can hold on to, that I can easily change. So I should be able to manage those parameters very well. There are
Thank
many
you.
other parameters that I will never be able
Yeah.
to change.
Yeah, are not within our control. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll come back to all of this because this series is going to run for maybe 4 months, 5 months. I will get to the details shortly. But by way of a helicopter view, for those who know how I like to talk about this, if you fly to say 35,000 feet above sea level, when we talk about all-round wellness, I want to provide this as a backdrop against which all the other things that we are going to do in this series will now have to be situated. There are 2 legs to this. The first is the mind. And your job is to know what that entails. The second are your motions, the things you apply yourself to. I will break them down in a bit. But if you look around right now, nobody is immune. I saw the news again that even Amazon is laying off people again. There's so many things happening at the same time. Artificial intelligence is causing its disruptions. These wars are causing their disruptions, like John Abe has said. The different political instabilities in the different countries, it is just a lot. But as you learn these things and you absorb them, and then you focus on these coping skills, then you begin to find your way to realize that after all, like my people will say, all die and die. All die and die. So there's no point dying before death. No need. How do you build that resilience? That is what we want to focus on right now. And it's about the daily routines of your mind. Okay? When we talk about wellness, we talk about the habit that you practice on a daily basis to ensure that you are in a better state. Physically, you are in a better state. Mentally, you are in a better state. Socially, you are in a better state. All round, there is a possibility to thrive. Even in this season, there's a possibility to thrive. During COVID, some people it was like the world had come to an end. When in that same period, some people who had wanted to write books focused and wrote. Some who had not had time for bonding focused on their families and invested. Some came up with great ideas that till today they are making billions from. When you think about the concept of innovation, like I said, I'm a consultant. When you think about the concept of innovation, core to the concept of innovation is limitation. You introduce a constraint. That's why they say that necessity is the mother of invention. Every time something doesn't go the way you want it to go, introduce a constraint. Constraints make people think. The Yoruba people will say that, the Igbo people will say that Yoruba doesn't have soup. You eat ewedu, you eat ila, you eat efo, maybe one of that variants. But when you get to the east and the south, there is a lot of soup. But many people do not know that it wasn't because they had a factory where they're experimenting with soup. Many of those soup were as a result of the Civil War. When they cut off food supply to the eastern bloc of Nigeria, they had to find ways to eat. And those things have caught on till today. So this period, it's about how you are training your mind. And I will get to it in a bit. It's about what kind of response are you bringing forth for your mind. Because wellness is about those daily habits. And never mind where you are today, the question is, where do you want to be tomorrow? Because through these conversations, I expect that if you are really applying yourself to it, it will make you aware of your choices. The problem is our mind has a mind of its own. And if you are not conscious, if it carry you go where you don't know. So this is supposed to make you aware of what choices you have so that you're not just drifting towards your subconscious. If you are one person who is prone to fear, prone to anxiety, it's a replay. That's the habit mind, and that's the more powerful part of the mind. It just drags you along. Some people are just following like that. But you can see the control. You can take back the reins. And that is what we will try to do over this next set of episodes, just to ensure that we don't just survive. This conversation is not just about survival, it is about thriving, all right? And that is the promise of this series. So let's go down quickly on the details. I said it's about two things. It's about the mind and it's about the emotion. So when we say the mind, what do we mean? There are three legs to this I want to explore. The first leg is that you must face it. If you're aware you can talk and they will not think you are mad, please open your mouth and say, face it. There are people who are living in fear. They are living in denial. Oh, it will disappear. Oh, so no, it's not going to. It can be solved, but there's no need living that denial. Face it. Mentally, MTN currently has a tagline for their promo. What problem are we solving? What are we doing today? And I've told those who are close to me, every time I hear that thing, what I hear is, every time I wake up, what problem are we solving today? The fact that you have this problem is because you are alive. If you want to see those, instead of people who do not have any of this problem, I'll take you to a cemetery where they are lying down there peacefully. No worry. And mosquito, flies, has no value. Nothing. They're not affected by this. If you like, let dollar become 5,000 naira. They don't have anything. For as long as you are breathing and you are alive, then there will be issues. There will be problem. Every day will serve a different problem. When you get mentally ready for this, you stop getting irritated and agitated. Because every day I wake up today, it's like, what problem I'm solving today? Yesterday, I woke up and my madam, we all went our different ways. And then while I was trying to get ready, my phone rang, and my dad called from Ibadan my mom called from Ibadan to say, oh, sorry, this has happened, you need to find a way to tell your madam, your wife, that her uncle passed on. Immediately, anytime anything happens in the day, say, okay, this is the problem we have to solve today, fine. It changes your mind. It's like, okay, let's go and solve it because we have the capacity to solve it. If you don't get to the point where you embrace problem and you look for the opportunities there, you will die. It will wear you out because there's really no antidote. There's nothing you can do that will immune you. About a year ago, my mom passed. Every day has a problem. But once you are settled to say, okay, is this the problem we have to solve? The energy that goes into getting angry, getting irritated, oh, my car breaks down. Oh, they took the light. Oh, rain is not falling. The day you know that, oh, okay, is this the problem that we are solving today? Okay? That mindset alone liberates you and takes away all your angst and all your frustrations. So, face it. That's the first one. I will come back to it. The second one is to take responsibility. You are the one to do something about it. Not your dad, not your wife, not your mother. You take responsibility for it. Because responsibility says, I have the ability to respond. You can check out our YouTube channel. We have a lot of videos on taking responsibility, but take responsibility. And the third one is then you have to make up your mind. The question is, when this disequilibrium gets rebalanced, because all this problem happening is a myriad of bad policies, bad leadership, bad government. The war, Ukraine, Russia, bad leaders. Israel, Hamas, bad leaders. Nigerian, bad policies, bad government, either past or present or a mix of both. But it will pass one way or the other because nature doesn't provide for this kind of aberration to continue indefinitely. Recently, when people were getting agitated and I was thinking about this, and I was old enough and well, I was working when Abacha was dealing with Nigeria. And at that time, it looked like, how are we going to get out of this? It was bad. it was very bad. It was a hopeless situation. All these Democrats that you saw, many of them ran out of Nigeria, Soyinka and Ahoro, all of them. It was terrible. Abacha killed Ken Saro-Wiwa. I was in Port Harcourt. It was terrible. As in to say, I am not joking about this. What did Ken Saro-Wiwa do? Ogoni right movement. I'm not talking politics, but I'm just saying it was terrible. But again, it will end. And when it ended, nobody knew anything about it. We just woke up about that. There was no social media. Is there? Come and see how very sad. For somebody's death, the entire country erupted into jubilation. So you must make up your mind to say, by the time this dust settles, do you want to be on the floor or you want to be standing? Do you want to flourish? Do you want to just survive? Do you want to thrive? It's a choice. The mind is the first point, because where the mind goes, the man follows. Where the mind goes, the man follows. If you've made up your mind to say, this is how I am going to deal, then everything gets sorted. So you have to face it. Don't hide your head inside the cloud. Don't complain about it. Don't moan and let it. How have I coped with this recently? And it's because of my journey. Many of you know my story, but I've been through a lot of things that I'm not going to do that today. But right now, I just refuse to focus on the price of things. That's my own coping techniques. I just refuse to focus on the price of things. You know, many years ago, when I was doing a series on financial success, can't remember the title exactly, but I said live on a budget. This is the period when I now appreciated the value of living on a budget, which is what John touched on. I give respect to my wife, and I thank her for how she's managing our finances. But you will not believe that we've not had to adjust our budget in the middle of all this drama. Because whatever we can buy is what we buy. As the thing is getting more tight, you are making serious choices to say, okay, like I said, for those who know me, I like to take a lot of beverage. If the money that I used to buy beverage for 1 month, now buys for 1 week, what happens? Don't finish. We move to something else because we can't be running after that price. So I just refuse to look at the price of things. All this panic about, the fuel people are going to go on strike. I did not move an inch. My own is, if we cannot go anywhere, we stay in our house. There's no, how much fuel am I going to buy? How many liters can I buy? So if I buy inside keg, money I no get, I buy inside can, then I will now be drinking the fuel later. What? So if there's no fuel, there's no fuel, we all stay where we are. And I have refused to let anything panic me on this matter. Dollar is now this. And I'm running a project that is gulping Forex. I'm working on an app, and I hope all of you will help push it when it's ready. And it has completely messed up the budget. I have just closed my mind on it. I'm not worrying myself about it. My worry goes into making the developers focus on what they are doing so they can move fast, so that the product can come out quicker. That's my focus. I am not too worried about how much are they selling right now, how much do they sell it later. It's not my business, because like John said, I can't control that. But if I can get the developers to work quicker, deliver the app better, get commercial faster, I can get into cash flow better, faster than I had anticipated. Rather than saying, hey, 1,000, hey, 1,800, hey, it will become 3,000. And then the work that you can do to make money or save money, you will not do. So, about the mind, your mind is your control center. Whatever is standing in front of you, face it. We still have a session for all of the country. I'm not going deep, but you must face it. Does it call for you to adjust your lifestyle? Do it. Does it call for you to do things that you thought were below you before, just to weather this phase? Do it. Ego, pride doesn't put any food on the table. I tell people, many of you who travel abroad, the work that they do abroad, the way they work abroad, if they do 50, 30, 40% of it in Nigeria, they will make a lot more money. I was in a meeting yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday with one of my clients. We are preparing for a retreat for this client. And I was saying, how is he doing? They are into agric export. And I kid you not, it wasn't me alone. I had other team members on the call. The guy said, I said, how are they doing? He said, the way they are doing this dollar, that they are making too much money. And I'm not joking. Do you know right now that if somebody here decides to go and start picking ginger, just go into the bush of Nigeria, this western region where they're selling ginger, know what the quality is and start to pick. Do you know you are going to make money from tomorrow? So this is not a period for ego and pride. It's about look around you. What skill can you learn now? Anyway, I'm not going to the details. But so in facing it, you will see the opportunities because they go together. Problems and opportunities are always two sides of the same coin. So this is the mind part. We will deal with that in full details later. The motion part is about two things. It's about your work and how you optimize your work. When I say work, it goes beyond going to a place to work. I'm saying that work refers to the things that you do. Somebody here needs to start losing weight. Somebody here needs to gain weight. Somebody here needs to learn how to eat more. Somebody here needs to eat less. Somebody here needs to start connecting with people more. Somebody needs to be more disciplined with being all over the place. There are things that you need to do to be well. We will cover the different elements of wellness, but for each one, there will be work to do. So you want to win as far as this wellness is concerned. Identify the work that you need to do and get it going. Your work may be different from mine, but everybody has something to do. And since you are alive, that's the real reason why you are still breathing, is to do those works. So what is your work? As we go through this, identify them, wake up every day and get going. Don't worry, just trust the process. As long as you are dealing with your side, time and chance, time and chance, time and chance, it will eventually add up. But the work itself is not alone. You must then continually learn to optimize. Somebody was selling water. I remember my mom, God bless her memory, when I grew up and this water problem started, they used to tie water. They would buy this nylon, pour water inside and tie it with hand, and then put it inside fridge, and children will come and buy. Can you imagine if somebody is tying water right now, how much sales that person is going to have? Why? Technology has moved and it has become sachet. Lagos State recently banned styrofoam. What are the alternatives there? So somebody here know how to use paper to make bags, to sell, because now there is a vacuum. The plastic may be too expensive. The reason why that styrofoam was popular was because of the cost. Is there something that somebody else can do? This afternoon, somebody came to me and said, I've been working on something, fuelless generator, and I think I've cracked it, and I want to, and we are pursuing that conversation. You have to keep optimizing. CANI stands for continuous and never-ending improvement. CANI, continuous and never-ending improvement. You can never go to bed. It keeps your brain alive and it adds value to your journey. Okay? So, like I said, you want creativity, introduce a limitation, introduce a constraint. They throw you lemon, life throws you lemon. Look at how you can turn it into lemonade. Get the control of your life on the inside. Don't live like you are helpless and things just happen around you. No, because you are responsible. You have the ability to respond. So in the course of this series, therefore, we will be covering these two ends, the mind part and the motion part. I invite you to join this journey, not just for an academic, it sounds nice, but for you to be identifying the work that you need to do and the optimization that exists for you to go to the next level. Let me tell you something. Until you have a health problem, you do not have a problem. And therefore, if you're alive and you are well, I say to you without a shade of a doubt, there is nothing confronting you today that you cannot beat. I want that to sink in. Nothing. The question is, how desperate are you to beat it? How ready are you to beat it? But that there's something standing in front of you. You need some money. You want to get married. You want to change your job. You want to be more physically fit. There's nothing standing in front of you that you cannot beat. The question is, are you ready? Because every prize has a price. Every prize has a price. Are you willing to pay? Some people think that some jobs are below them. Some people think that some things are below them. I cannot mingle with these people. I cannot interact with these people. Some people don't see themselves as being adequate. No, I'm not good enough. I can't. If you are ready to do the work that is in front of you, there is nothing. See, it matters not how much you are making right now. It matters not what the qualification you have right now. The financial space has been so democratized that it's up to you to find a solution on what to do. I had a program this afternoon, and when we're preparing for it, we thought, okay, let's get some plantain chips. And there's this lady that has been selling more and more plantain chips in my space that I can see. I do not know what else she's doing elsewhere. I said, oh, what does she have? And then they bought 12,000 naira worth of plantain chips from just that one person in just one day. And I just assumed this girl is making 100 naira, 200 naira, 30 naira. Even if the money doesn't buy her a car, she wakes up every day with a sense of purpose and she can grow it. So there's nothing. It's all up to you. There is no prize without a price. If you are ready to pay the price, there's nothing standing in front of you that you cannot beat. It's all up to you if you are ready to beat it. So in the next couple of weeks, therefore, we are going to be exploring this wellness thing along certain buckets. Next week, we have a general practitioner who is into wellness and, what does she call it now? Wellness and weight loss or wellness and something like that. She is based out of Canada, and she will be joining us on this program next month to focus on this particular leg of wellness. Some have medical conditions that needs attention, not like we are going to be doing diagnostics, but there are general principles that you can apply. Some are healthy, but they need to know what they need to do to remain healthy, because until you have a health problem, you do not have a problem. So if you think you have a problem right now, just ask yourself, are you healthy? If you are, you do not have a single problem. When you have health problem, then you have problem. Because even money can't save you. Even the doctors can't beat their chest and say, this is what is going to happen. So she will come, and I want to point out that's going to happen on Easter Saturday. So be conscious of that, because Easter coincidentally is now for the Easter weekend. So, I mean, for the last weekend of March. So let's bear that in mind. Then we will be focusing on the mental wellness, your mind. How do you use it? What are the failure points? How do you ensure that you know where your mind is, and how do you get better control of your mind? We will focus again on also on wellness from the nutritional point of view. What is good for you? What are the things that are not good for you? I have seen a new body of knowledge I never knew before, that what is good for you is not even a general thing, that is dependent on your genotype, is dependent on your blood group. So how does that work? Some people, beans works for them, some beans does not. Some people, this one works, that one does not. It was very strange to me hearing all those things. But let's get knowledge from the specialists, so that, again, It's about wellness. When you are well, everything else is possible. When you are not well, nothing works. So we will focus on the nutritional. Then we'll focus on the physical, not for losing weight, not because you want to go and run a marathon, not because you want to become Mr. World or Miss World, but your body, your physical body is the house where everything else is residing. And if this house is leaking, or the foundation is not good, or the door is rickety, everybody will be in trouble. All the inhabitants of that place will be in trouble. So how do you keep the physical body in a good shape? What should you be doing? What should you not be doing? And of course, financial. We've done a lot on this financial space, but we'll again touch on it, financial wellness. How do you ensure that you are in a place where you are making the most of the capacity and the opportunities that exist around you? So these are the dates that we are looking at. March, I should have changed this back to March 30th. So this is March 30th for the medical. I wanted to move it 1 week, but this is the date that works for our facilitators. So we are going back to that, and I hope that works for everybody else. But in case anybody has any challenge with that date, please let us know. But March 30th, which is the last Saturday in March, is when we will be having the one on the medical, and I really encourage you to make it a date and tell somebody to tell somebody. So we have the medical, mental, nutritional. So March, April, May, June, July, we hope to end this series. So I'm inviting you to come along. Tell everybody that you know that needs to know this, because everybody needs to be well at this period. This thing is affecting different people differently, but certainly nobody's immune. And we need one another to encourage one another to learn, so that we are not just going with native intelligence, but we are intentional. We are not just surviving, but we are thriving. It's a choice that we all have to make. And that is what is ahead of us in the next couple of months. So as I land my side of this conversation, so that you can then all chime in, I land with this, my quote that I've been dancing around, that the foundational wealth is health. Why? Without it, nothing else can stand. There is no foundation on which to build. So you really want to be wealthy. Somebody said, health may not be everything, but everything is nothing without health. Health may not be everything, but everything is nothing without health. So whatever it is that you desire, that you are chasing, that you want, is about wellness, including financial wellness. The journey ahead of us, therefore, is how do we build skills and capacity that will make us well, so that we can achieve our full potential. So 10% of life is what happens to us. We are not necessarily in control of all this drama going on in the economy, even though I wish we all get more involved in governance, not even necessarily politics. But at least where we are right now, the remaining 90% is up to how we react to it, is up to how we internalize it, and how we respond to it. And this series that we are starting is for the purpose of equipping you and I for that journey. So that's my landing, yeah, just on time. So the floor is open. Anybody wants to contribute anything? So how again, I go back to my question. Now I'm expanding it. How has this unwell economy, how is it affecting you? And now I'm expanding it to say, can you share your coping technique with us? Like I said, my own coping technique is just ignore the noise, because there's only very little you can do about it. So just ignore the noise and then focus on the one you can control. Acquire skills, improve your capacity to earn, be very prudent and judicious with whatever resource that you have, and then look for opportunities even in this chaos and in this madness. Look for the opportunity. What can I do? What else can I do? What skill can I build? What skill can I optimize? What skill can I sell? And as you focus on that, you have less energy to give to anxiety. You feel more in control. You have less energy to give to worry. You worry less. And then whatever it is, what it is, but at least you are living it with as much peace as you can. So that's my coping technique. And it has kept me sane. I don't even know. If you ask me how much I take things, I don't know. I don't want to even know. My own is how can I generate more funds and how can I make more. So the floor is open. How is this affecting you? And what are your stressor points and how are you coping with it? Or do you have any thoughts so that we can learn from one another? The floor is open. You can digitally raise your hand or you can just unmute your mic and talk. And let's just see what we can share with one another. So I think this is Grace. Yes, Grace, you got the floor.
Okay, thank you so much.
And
Good evening.
if you are aware, you can share your video. Please go ahead. Feel free to do that. And anybody else, if you are a place you are comfortable to share your video, just go ahead and do that. It helps the recording. So just go ahead. That's what my producer said I should say.
All right, thank you, sir. I can share my video as present. I'm in a dark place.
That's fine. It's a general comment. Just go ahead.
All right, so I'll say should I say from the beginning of this year, I didn't know that my mind was not really settled. So I had something I told myself. So I told myself I was going to have a sticker note. I was going to decorate even my entire room with sticker notes, right? So and that's what I've done. I had to buy a pack of sticker notes. And then just got word, I just started pasting different verses. So everything around me, so that every time when I feel down,
verses of what?
maybe anything, you're bothered, you are thinking of no money.
Of what is going on in your head, Abby? Of the things going on
in my head, I don't have money, just generally.
Okay.
So there are different Bible verses where then I know that I had to intentionally put on my wallpaper the Lord Psalm 23. I went to Google it. So I just put it on my wallpaper. So anything that wants to play, because I believe that the game is always in the head, in the mind. So anytime the game wants to come up, I see something, even though at work, I just see something in front of me that I can take it in. There are times I just write, I'm not shaking, I'm a woman led by faith. So I just say it to myself. So when I just tell myself, we'll just be fine, or I'll just find a way. Maybe you go and sleep. If I thought you feel like, for someone like us, fine, sleep can always help us. So you just find a technique that works well for you. But the sticker note really helps, whereby you have it all around you. So whenever devil tries to come with his dart, wherever you are turning to, you are seeing a word, either just a normal word or a Bible verse that you are seeing around you that gives you the promises again for you to be strong. So then that's what I do.
Thank you very much. See, your mind doesn't know the difference. I went to Caleb University a few years ago to deliver a paper, and I wanted to talk about smiling. And I was shocked about what I found. Many of you know that I have a master's in psychology. I found out that even when you fake a smile, science says that it affects your body physiologically as if it was a real smile. Because if you try to smile, there are some muscles here. I've forgotten their name now. Tell me again. Zygomatic major or something. I can't remember their name very well, but there are muscles that are affected. And even when you fake a smile, your body actually responds like it's a real smile. I don't have the time to teach this, but you see, the subconscious mind is the more powerful mind. And sometimes just telling yourself to say, no, this is not going to happen to me, it looks very foolish, but it's like you are taking control from the subconscious mind. So that's why the first step of this mind part is what? Face it. Don't run from it. I'm anxious. Put it there, I'm anxious. And ask yourself, why am I anxious? Okay, what if I don't have money to pay my rent when it's due? Okay, when is your rent due? 6 months. Okay, 6 months, Abby. And then how much is it? Are you saving? By the time you start illuminating it, you realize that it probably is not as bad as it looks. And then you begin to see opportunities. Don't worry, you can get money here, get money there, or save here, or do that. And then you feel more empowered. Because what happens is when anxiety takes over, it drains your energy. Anxiety drains energy. Worry drains energy. It leaks out all the things that you have done to move forward. You become completely demobilized, like deflating your tires when you are driving a car. And you can't afford to allow that to happen to you this year. So you have to make up your mind. The battle is always in the mind. When you win the battle in the mind, everything else is straightforward. Everything. Yes. Anybody else wants to share anything? How has this affected you? Thank you, Grace, for sharing. And what has been your own coping techniques? Anybody? Anybody else want to share anything? How has this unwell economy dealt with you? And how have you managed to cope? IBK, I see you, you have disappeared. God knows your address. Yes. Any final thing from anybody as to how you have dealt, how you are dealing with this period, and anything you want to share with anybody on how to go about it? In the absence of anything else, yes, so we've landed. This is supposed to be an introductory session into this wellness. I brought this slide back, so you probably want to take note of it. You don't want to miss any because they are all concatenated, and then it's a chain. So next episode, we'll be focusing on the medical wellness. And if there's anything you'd like to see covered in any of this, please join our Telegram channel and drop a message. And I'm very intentional about that request because I'm supposed to be speaking to the lady later tonight. And I'm just going to be giving her my own brief. Somebody wants us to cover anything on the medical. We have a psychologist that's going to be coming for the mental one. We have a nutritionist coming for the nutritional. We have somebody into physical health education that's taking the physical health one. And then we'll have somebody else. I do not want to be the one to take the financial model. So we are likely going to have somebody else that will take the financial model. So if there's anything specific you'd like to see covered in any of these models, please join our Telegram channel. But if you have my access, if you have my contact, you can also drop it with me. We are happy to make sure that your voice is included in that design. And like I said, the whole essence is we are going to outlast this period. It will come, it will pass. It will come, it will pass, and we'll still be standing even stronger than we were before it started. So let everybody brace up. It's about your mind, it's about your emotion. Pay attention to it, and let's see how to win. All right? Any final thing from anybody? Anybody wants to share anything, say anything? Okay, so like I've said, if you do not know about our Telegram channel, John, please, can you just drop that? We have a Telegram channel. I want it to be more, okay, somebody's raising hand. Blessing. Yeah, Blessing, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Sorry, can you speak up a bit, please?
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me?
Much better. Thank you very much.
So it's just from a point of action, and to just put a big feedback from what I got. Sorry I joined a bit late because I was shuttling between so many things, and I wouldn't want to miss this for anything anyway. So I just want to say thank you to you, sir, and for the organizers of this program, because it just came right in time when it seems as if the whole thing is crumbling. Nobody is sane at this moment. The economy, the environment, everything doesn't seem right now. Because speaking from my end, when you were asking how we cope and things that we are dealing with, going to work lately has really been hectic because of this fuel issue,
You come to the bus stand, you stand long hours waiting for buses, you want to book a ride, there is hike in price, cost of living has really gone up, it's worrisome, and you're not only dealing with yourself, you have people that you are dealing with as well. Your colleagues at work, is as if everybody is bringing out that negative energy. People around you, people are no longer happy the way they used to be. Everybody is just looking for ways to attack. So we have to deal with it. So how do I deal with mine? Just like Grace has said, I don't have a sticky note all over in my house, but I do what I call the mirror, the mirror, the mirror therapy. So I go to the mirror, then I talk to myself. I'm strong. I'm this. I'm that. I'm enough. I can deal with whatever that happens to me. I have everything that I need to surmount whatever is happening. So it works for me too. So the support part is there. So I don't hesitate. Like I have people that I confide in, maybe one or two that I can easily call. To me, my mom is my go-to when things are not working well. Just by mail calling her on the phone, a loved one, and she will listen to all my long stories and she will say her motherly prayers and care. So it helps too. So support is there too. So that goes a long way. People that really love and care about you, that helps. Then also exercise. I exercise not as often as I want to, but I do that every Saturday to ensure that I keep fit. Then I have my daily routine exercise I can do in-house. So as little as it may seem, but it helps me to
Absolutely.
cope.
Absolutely.
I love music too, so I play music, I dance. So the mirror really helps me a lot. So in my house, I have a standing mirror. So I use that a lot. I talk to myself when I'm dancing. I'm looking at myself. I'm affirming the things I want, because the mind is really powerful. So you channel it the way you want it to work, and it helps. So like you said,
Blessing. Very well.
Very well said. Thank you so much.
Very much. Thank you very much for sharing. I really love that. The mind is so powerful. And the person you talk to most is yourself. The problem is most people are not conscious of what they are saying to themselves. And the mind does not know the difference. I personally look forward to the mind episode simply because I am not the one taking it. So me too, I can listen and learn. But it works. Talk to yourself. Be conscious of your self-conversation. Before we go tonight, I just want to teach you a relaxation therapy, because your body is a very powerful oxygen processing machine. And many people do not know that when you learn how to use your body, Blessing says she exercises. Exercise is one of the best things you can do to your brain, because it releases the right chemicals into your system and eliminates the negative ones. I don't want to use too many technical terms. So beyond weight, beyond cardiovascular health, is also the psychological side of exercise. But before we go tonight, I just want to teach you this simple relaxation exercise. Whenever you find that you are getting tense, this helps. Wherever you are, if you can practice it, there is the extended version, which I will try and take during the mental one. Let's take the very basic one now. It's just your breathing in and out. Have you noticed that when you are tense, it's like you are not breathing in. It's like you are just, your breath is here, and it's like you are carrying a weight on your chest. When you find that things are swirling around you and it looks like you are getting disoriented, you can find a quiet place. All you need is like 5 minutes. Close your eyes. You can do it now. Just try to relax your body. There is the extended one I said I would do one of these episodes. But for this, you breathe in. When you breathe in properly, breathing in is not raising your chest. That's not breathing. It's about sucking in air. How do you know when you suck in air? Your tummy will get big because you have brought in air. So you breathe in as strong as you can, You hold it when you are, as you are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you release it and count 5 again, so that you empty that entire stomach. And then you do it again, and then you hold it, and then you release, and then you do it again. If you do it well, so people in some of my trainings, by the time you are done with this, they are feeling sleepy. It's extremely relaxing. I don't do drugs headache is not something that I have. But one therapy that works for me is that extended relaxation technique. You start from the crown of your head and you relax it layer by layer by layer by layer by layer. By the time I'm done, it works better than any drug when I am that stressed. But we don't have the time for that. We'll take that next time. So let's do the simple one. If you are where you can chill, if you are where you have that space, sit down. Let your feet be flat on the floor. Feel the floor. Let your knee be at like angle 90. If you know what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Let your leg be like, this is your knee. So this is your knee. And that's your leg. So like that. And then try and relax. If you can, put your hand on your lap or your knee. If you're on a chair, you can put your hand on the table like I am doing. Just try and find a comfortable posture. Okay? And then when you have that posture, what you do is to breathe in. So I will ask you to breathe in and I will count 5. You keep breathing in, and when I say hold it, you hold it again. You don't breathe out. I count 5. Then I say release. Then you release slowly, but you must continue to release until you have nothing else to release. And then you take it again, you hold it. And then when I say release, you try and release everything. And then you take it in again, and then you hold it. We do it just 3 times. If you do that well 3 to 5 times, you will feel the difference physiologically in your body. All right, so let's go. So can you give us some soft music if you can? Nothing too noisy, but if not, that's fine. So what I expect you to do is now when I say breathe in, you breathe in, and then I'll say hold it, you hold, I say release, you release, I do it 3 times. So let's go. Breathe in slowly. Now you hold it there until I count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now release. Release everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Do it again. Breathe in fully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it there. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it one more time. Breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did anybody do that? If you did, and you have, if you did, share if you feel anything you want to share with us. How did that make you feel? Anybody do that? Do you have anything to talk about? Anybody? 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 Otherwise, we are landing. But it's extremely relaxing, extremely relieving. I hope that when we do the mental one, I will have the opportunity of taking you through the deep meditation one that you just kind of crawl through your own system and you just unpack it. It is extremely effective. And the advantage of this is you can do it at work, you can do it on the go, you can even be in the car, in the traffic, and be relaxing. And people just wonder why you are so chilled. It's because you've learned to get your body under control. Okay, so thank you very much for being here today. Next week, you want to be sure to tell somebody. You also want to be here. Yeah, and I remember. Because of a season like this that we started the Telegram group chat. John, please, can you drop the link again for those who are not here? The whole idea of that is if you are looking for a place to vent, you can just come and vent. And if you do not want anybody to know that it is you, just find any of the admin. I'm one of them. And if you have my contact, you can drop it. And then I will then drop it on the group, and you can hear other people chime in and contribute and share thoughts and encouragement and all of that. So this, and if it is work related, career related, anything related, you need to vent, or you need other people's opinion, or you are looking for coaching, feel free. I'm not feeling that we are using that channel optimally enough. A few people have used it and they've come back to say they were very glad they did, but I do not think we have enough traction on that group. So in times like this, you need such escape and you need such channels. So please feel free to use it, and we'll be glad to help whichever way we can. All right. So on that note, typically we'll have a survey. Can I plead with you to please just hold on one sec as we upload the survey? It's less than 1 minute to complete. So we just take your feedback and we know exactly how to become better. Yeah, the survey, there it is. It's just 2 questions or 3. How many questions? 2 or 3? But less than a minute. Just speak and let's feel you. And I would like to thank you all for joining today. Very much appreciated. And see you in March as we focus on all-round wellness from the medical science angle, so that we can learn and become better at it. Until then, congratulations for a successful end to February, and see you in March. Marching forward, irrespective of all that is surrounding us. All right? Thank you, everybody, and bye-bye.